Bloomberg Associates is an international nonprofit consulting group set up by Mike Bloomberg after being mayor of New York City for 12 years. Our goal is to help cities to create solutions that improve the lives of people who live in those cities. I worked in New York City government under Mayor Bloomberg. I was the first deputy commissioner of the Mayor's Office of Media and Entertainment. I helped to create New York City's digital strategy and appointed the first ever chief digital officer for a city. I have the pleasure now of spending a lot of time in cities around the world and have seen some of the great innovations that are happening out there, which I'd love to share with you today. I found that smart cities are the ones that co-create with their stakeholders. And these projects in New York City, Rio de Janeiro, London, and Paris are changing the face of the cities that they're located in, and also great models for all of us. Let's start in New York City, where the Cornell Tech University campus just opened this past year. Cities must work to develop and retain talent. The Bloomberg administration knew this when it conceived of creating a world-class educational campus on Roosevelt Island in the city's East River. We created an applied sciences competition, offered city-owned land and $100 million in city capital. We received 18 proposals from 27 different institutions, and in the end, Cornell University and the Technion out of Israel won the joint bid. However, several other proposals were also developed, increasing the number of STEM programs across the city. Cornell Tech, when complete, will occupy 2 million square feet of space, still allow 2 acres of open space, which is a rarity in New York City, for the 2,000 graduate students each year to enjoy. And the students, the graduating class of 2018, knows well that the jobs of the future require technologists and engineers. Now I want to take you to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Rio does not have all of the resources that New York City has, but they had a vision when they created the Naves de Conhecimento, the spaceships of knowledge. Rio is comparatively a small coastal town compared to Sao Paulo, and the residents care deeply about bringing their friends and relatives out of poverty. They're also very imaginative. This is a great example of a community-based innovation for all. There are 9 naves across the city of Rio in some of the most economically challenged parts of the city. Their high design draws people into their spaces, and they're well equipped with technology and staff to help locals with basics of computer operation, access to email, and more sophisticated courses in graphic design and coding. This is a community center that gives opportunity to people who have had very little of it before. Now to the site of the 2012 Olympics in London. London was determined to ensure that the former Queen Elizabeth Olympic site remained a vibrant educational, financial, and cultural corridor. It's a large-scale regeneration project that spans multiple mayoral administrations and does so by creating a development corporation and a plan. Here East is the former press and broadcast center during the Olympics. It's now a massive innovation center that's well connected to the rest of the park and the residents of East London. With 1.2 million square feet, it's a well-connected video and data hub and is the site for BBC and BT Sport. Here East has also created an incubator called Plexal to create homegrown startups. The 800 members focus on areas like cyber innovation, where there's 70 companies that are currently working on keeping our data and information safe. Across the greater Olympic Park, the development of the Victoria and Albert Museum and Sadler Wells Dance Company will be the first ever expansion into East London and will create a vibrant corridor across the park. And to round things out, the University of Central London will open UCL East by 2023, and the 4,000 students on campus will study forms of studies like the future of living, which will include a center for autonomous systems and robotics, as well as a disability innovation hub. This project is sustainable and equitable and accessible, and the city has made great attempts to make sure that the local community can benefit through apprenticeships, internships, low-cost access to sports facilities, and events across the park. Paris has not always been synonymous with innovation, but billionaire businessman Xavier Niel is determined to change this in a big way and has created the world's largest incubator, Station F. With 1,000 companies, this has become the new center of gravity for innovation in Paris. With 3,000 desks, this is a story of scale, 366,000 square feet to be exact. Station F, a disused rail center, is as long as the Eiffel Tower is high. And it's making a big impact, and it's really redefining the narrative for Paris and for France. Along with President Macron and La French Tech, the innovation in Paris is gaining velocity. People are coming from around France and across Europe to visit and to work in Station F. It's also attracting investment and further development for the rest of the city. But cities can't do it all alone, and so they need support of their residents and businesses, and they need to share best practices with other cities. We created a report that showcases the work of 22 city governments and their digital tools and how they're doing things, including a look at artificial intelligence, their use of social media platforms, websites, apps, and other tools to deliver service to residents. When you look across cities, all of them are using a full but varied set of tools. Development of artificial intelligence is limited but growing, especially in the use of chatbots, which help to lower costs and improve efficiencies. But cities aren't just upgrading hardware and software, they're also investing in human capital. Cities are creating chief digital officers and chief data officers to complement the more traditional technology roles. And cities face common challenges. Departments are heavily siloed. There are significant financial constraints from budget cutbacks and balanced budget mandates. Procurement is cumbersome and time-consuming in order to remain fair and transparent, and city staff require additional training. Often vendors are the best positioned to provide it. In order to look at one solution that's being developed that can address some of these challenges, we'll go back to Paris. While the innovation in the private sector is happening at Station F, the city of Paris has been quietly developing a software solution for cities. Free of charge, and recently translated into English, Lutece, which is originally a Roman word for the city that was on the land where Paris is now, runs much of Paris's online services, including Dans Ma Rue, which is the service reporting platform for potholes and broken lights, the city's inventory of social housing, and their model participatory budget program, where citizens get to vote on how to spend €100 million per year on city projects. Paris has recently expanded the relationships with Lyon and Marseille to expand Lutece, and now with the support of Bloomberg Associates, we're taking it to Johns Hopkins University and the city of Baltimore, Maryland. By creating a global community of users, this platform can improve the lives of people across cities. And it's largely my message here today that by working together and supporting cities, we can all benefit. And I ask you, as part of Bloomberg Associates, to join in helping to help cities thrive. In the end, we all benefit. And I want to invite up to stage 3 experts in the space of cities as well as technology to come and talk about what makes a smart city a success. We have with us today Konstantinos Champidis, who is the Chief Digital Officer for the City of Athens, Miguel Gamino, who is the Executive Vice President of Global Cities for MasterCard and former CTO of New York City and San Francisco, and Jessica Tan, who is the Deputy CEO, also the COO and CIO of Ping An Insurance Group.